Look at this, bro. Why does she have bug eyes, bro? She's 16 years old. She looks like a tiki mask, a totem pole, a kitsune mask from Naruto. She looks like she's part of an Anbu Black Ops.
He was helping the women de-orientalize.
De-orientalize? Just say you want my eyes to be less squinty, bro. If you didn't already know, Asia is often known to be extremely notorious for its terrible beauty standards and their facial trends, I guess. Besides being extremely skinny or wanting to be extremely white, another thing they often do, plastic surgery. And sometimes it's not even willingly. Sometimes it's by force. So today we're going to check out behind Asia's forceful plastic surgery obsession.
Get ready with me while I talk about my impulse decision to get plastic surgery.
We are in Korea because I'm getting surgery.
And today I'm getting double eyelid surgery.
You guys come with me to get double eyelid surgery in Korea.
I'm going to Korea in the fall and I'm getting double eyelid surgery.
Bro.
I recently went to Korea and got plastic surgery.
It's been exactly 1 week since I got my double eyelid surgery.
They're talking about getting these damn double eyelid surgery like it's a completely normal, convenient thing to do. Come with me while I change the entire structure of my face and my bone structure in Korea. No, man, no.
It's officially been 1 week.
No, we don't need that, man.
Why
Stay
do
natural.
Asians love plastic surgery so much? If you've been on the East Asian side of social media or visited any of the countries there,
Are you trying to tell me that these are not AI bots? These are not real humans, bro. No Asian. Okay, why do you have blue eyes? Stop with the skin bleaching. Stop with the blue contacts. Stop with the plastic surgery and stop with all this mess, man.
recently, you've probably noticed
My
the
bad.
common trend of young people all looking the same.
True.
And I'm not talking about the old all Asians look the same stereotype.
Whoa, bro. Okay, don't get freaky and start changing the camera angles on me, okay, man?
I'm talking about those in their teens, 20s,
Like, bro, what are these builds, man? I get it, okay? Skinny, okay? But it gets to a point, man.
30s, and even 40s, all literally having the exact
That was a 40-year-old mom? Do you know what 40-year-old women look like in America, dude? 40-year-old moms? This is what they look like here in America, man.
same facial features as each other. Those being double eyelids, a high, thin nasal bridge, V-line jaw, and ultra pale skin.
Brother cosplay. I was gonna say, you just look straight up like a goddamn Naruto character, dude. Double eyelid? I thought double eyelid was something on the top, not the bottom. Why? You just look like an alien. You look like a freak. No offense.
Whilst wanting to look beautiful is something people from all countries share, China, Japan, and South Korea have taken it to a new level.
Right.
In China, AI-powered apps like Gunmi and So Young, which
Gunmi?
boast over 50 million users, have a feature called
Goon.me? Goon.me?
Magic Mirror, which assesses your face, gives you a score, and then tells you the surgeries you need to improve that score.
What?
All whilst connecting you to surgeons and clinics who are available to
No
perform the
way,
surgery.
bro.
Shifting to Japan.
So y'all have an application that gives you a detailed, accurate face scan and tells you, no, you need to go under the needle and get this adjusted, that adjusted, because it does not look good. Your nose is too fat, your cheeks are too puffy, and your eyes are way too small. You need a double eyelid surgery, bro. This is the fast track way to getting an insecurity, bro. Wait, I wonder if you put other body parts on that app, would it tell me that it needs to get longer? I might need to get that, you know, lengthening surgery.
Rapidly increasing number of children younger than 18 going under the knife.
Oh,
Several
yeah.
being as small as 9 years old. And with South,
We have 9-year-olds in 2025 getting plastic surgery in Japan. That was Japan, right? Right? He said Japan, right, guys? Right?
South Korea, it's estimated that 1 in 3 women have had plastic surgery.
God
making
damn,
it
man. There is never any justifiable reason to really go under plastic surgery. Unless there's something like you have a nasal blockage or something and you had some type of like life-altering, I don't know, accident where your face was burnt to a crisp like a damn Lay's potato chip, then I would understand. But unless you look like Kratos himself, why are you getting, you know, plastic surgery, bro? Be happy with the God-given, you know, facial features that you were blessed with, man.
The country with the highest plastic surgery rate per capita.
Is what?
So, how
Oh,
did
South
this all
Korea?
start? Why exactly has the plastic surgery phenomenon become so popular in
Why?
East Asia? And finally, what effects does this have?
Everything wrong in the world and everything bad.
Let's rewind to the aftermath of the Korean War. This period also saw the birth of East Asia's plastic surgery industry.
Y'all been getting plastic surgery since the goddamn Korean War? I don't know when that was, but that shit sounds prehistoric, bro.
With American military surgeon Dr. Ralph Millard playing a pivotal role. In 1954,
Of course, it was a goddamn meddling American, you know, meddling his balls into his hands into the situation.
Millard was stationed in South Korea, where he encountered young Korean women seeking to marry American soldiers. Millard believed that if women looked more
The original Oxford study, if you know, you know.
Western, it would improve their chances of finding a man. And so he saw this as an opportunity and begun developing surgical techniques to alter Asian facial features.
Damn, so this is like the first recorded plastic surgery procedure in like history or something? When was this? Early 1900s?
Millard believed that by doing these surgeries, he was helping the women de-orientalize and assimilate to American society.
De-orientalize. That sounds so goddamn racist. It doesn't sound like it. It is. De-orientalize? Just say you want my eyes to be less squinty, bro. Just say I eat cats and dogs, bro. Don't tell me to de-orientalize, man. No. Brief intermission. Please make sure you sub to the channel if you're not already subscribed. We're at like 15K. We're on the road to 20K. Thank you very much.
Millard's most famous innovation was the double eyelid surgery, which creates a crease
I knew it
to make the eyes appear larger.
Just say it, bro.
This procedure, known as blepharoplasty, has now become the most requested cosmetic surgery in East Asia. He also developed the early techniques for nose augmentation.
There's nothing wrong with the damn nose, man. Just leave it alone.
And facial contouring.
And this one, she got like this part taken down. She got like a little egghead now. Just leave it alone, man.
All aimed at making Asians have more of a Caucasian appearance. Though not as much the case anymore, during the post-war era in Korea, many Koreans did in fact view westernization as a path to modernization and economic success. Thus, altering one's appearance became a way to signal sophistication and upward mobility. Millard's techniques laid the foundation for what would become a multi-billion-dollar industry. Though perhaps the most long-lasting legacy of Millard's work is its influence on East Asian beauty standards. By framing Asian features as something to be fixed, these early surgeries reinforced the idea that Western features were inherently more desirable.
Damn, so he really did his damage from the inside out. Not only, you know, doing actual procedures on people that didn't really need them, but making them convinced that their problem was the way that they were born. You know, a feature that doesn't have any negative or positive connotation, but given a negative, you know, vibe to it, it's like, yo.
Effects of those early days continue to influence perceptions of beauty and self-image across the region. The industry and popularity has grown far beyond Millard's initial work. So how did this cultural niche, concentrated of just South Korean women looking to date Americans, become a cultural trend?
It's a great question.
Encompassing both women and men across all.
So the men are getting it too? Hold on, let me see what bro got done. Let me see if he really got better, bro.
Cultural trend encompassing both women and...
She definitely had like a bigger jaw. Damn, she looked like night and day different, bro. This ain't even the same person, bro. Obviously, you know, no offense if this is crazy offensive, I'm sorry. But imagine you have a kid with this person and you're like, you know, you're seeing them like this and then, wait a minute, hold on. Why does my child have a big ass jawline compared to, you know, what you have? Like, you know, it's like catfish, bro. Brother just looks like he went under like a filter, bro. Why does he look so much more ooh? Okay, so like he got his cheeks pulled in, I think. His lips maybe pulled out. His nose a little different. They don't even look like relatives. I don't care. If I seen these two people on the street, I wouldn't even think they're brothers. They don't have really much of the same features, bro. Even his eyebrows look different.
Across all of East Asia, plastic surgery was first introduced in East Asia. It's only natural for many to believe that the reason so many Asians get plastic surgery is for the same reason as it was back then. That it revolves around being ashamed of your heritage.
Yeah, insecurities, bro.
European imperialism is still very much a part of it. For most people, that isn't even considered when one contemplates about getting cosmetic surgery.
Damn, so that means that the ideology is baked into society for this long, this harsh, and for quite a while, to the point where it's like an inherited insecurity, as in like you're taught that this is bad by your parents or by somebody older than you, and then you teach somebody else who's younger, and it just keeps going in a cycle, but you never really know where it originated from. Click, click, nigga. Answer is European settlers, you know, trying to do their thing. Or I guess maybe not European American, but yeah.
Double eyelids, high nasal bridge, and V-line jaw are features most commonly seen in white people. Those getting cosmetic surgery for this don't generally view themselves as trying to de-orientalize themselves. Like
that's a crazy term, bro. I don't care.
In the 50s. Frankly, it's closer to the exact opposite. And I know some of you might be thinking, what about trying to look as white as possible being a staple in the Asian beauty standard? How is that not trying to replicate the way Westerners look and influenced by European imperialism? Well, in most of East Asia, having pale skin has long been linked to the upper class. And this goes all the way back to ancient times when people in high social standings didn't...
So the blacker you are, the darker you are, the poorer you are? That is definitely a little crazy, bro. Come on now, do better.
...work under the sun. So they naturally had lighter skin. This contrasted with the farmers and laborers who were out in the fields all day and got tanned. So over time, having lighter skin became a symbol of wealth and not having to do physical labor.
Because you don't got to be out on the floors like those peasants, those slaves just picking rice all day, you know, with the rice hats and just doing labor. Yeah, I get it now, okay? So you feel, you know, real dainty and nice and pretty, you know, with your white skin on the inside while real niggas are out there, you know, doing work and putting in the fields. Okay, I get it now. Because I used to think for sure that like it's more of like wanting to be a proximity to white is the whole social hierarchy, but you know, you learn something new every day. Shout out to bro.
Thus, instead of being a racial thing, it's more about classism.
Okay.
I met so many people who have some difficulties to find a job before surgery, and when they have consultation, they complain that they cannot find a job. And after the surgery,
imagine going to work at goddamn, I don't know, Chick-fil-A, Shake Shack, Steak and Shake, depending on where you're from in the country of America, if you're from America, by the way, or Nando's if you're from the UK. And yeah, you apply for the job, and you're like, your resume checks out. You got the experience. You look good in school. You got good grades. You seem like a nice, person with a good head on your shoulders. There's one problem though. You're fucking ugly. What are you gonna do about that? What do you do?
Really important and influences both social and work life. Historically, how you looked could even affect your social status and job opportunities.
That makes sense.
For instance, in Japan, during the Heian period, the court nobles often followed elaborate beauty practices, like having long flowy hair and wearing layers of silk robes, which set them apart from the common people. And not looking presentable would literally put you at risk for demotion. This would be the same for China's concubines for the emperor. And so, though they are old beliefs, they have
I feel like this is more like a universal thing in the world. Like usually, like the better you look based on the society standards of, what looks good and such, you kind of have more upper hand advantages.
Undoubtedly carried over time. In today's East Asia, appearances can make a big difference in making a strong first impression, which is also highly valued in both social and professional settings. For example, in the workplace, someone who is attractive is often seen as someone who's more professional and capable, and ultimately more employable.
It's kind of weird because in my experience, I feel like the more attractive a person gets in general, the stupider and more egotistical they get and narcissistic. If somebody's like a 15 out of 10 or something, like 9 times out of 10, bro, they got rocks in the bottom of their brains, bro. Because like all you do is focusing on how good you look, bro. You're probably shallow, narcissistic, and stupid, and personality issues. And am I saying that because I'm chopped?
Decisions about who gets hired or promoted.
No,
in fact,
I'm not.
A large national survey conducted in China found that 83% of responders believed that being beautiful has an effect on daily life and improves quality.
You didn't need to take a statistic on this, okay? I could have told you this, brother. No.
Additionally, according to a survey on appearance and plastic surgeries in South Korea, 67% of the respondents stated that it is acceptable to have plastic surgery to improve chances of getting a job or for marriage.
What do you mean acceptable?
This is likely due to the society over there being so competitive. And thus, there's a lot of pressure to look perfect and fit the beauty standards of East Asian media and pop culture.
Especially with the way that, like, I feel like
advantage over others in the workplace. Subsequently,
I feel like idols also kind of mess this up a little bit. Actually, I'm not too familiar with K-pop to even make this assessment or judgment, but I feel like with the way all these celebrities are pushing, a certain look, it kind of like molds society to try to look that way too, because like that's what everybody is putting as the gold standard. So everybody's gonna try to look like that. You get what I'm saying? It's like how y'all look at me and everybody's looking at me, and I'm the most beautiful, handsome, person you ever seen. So everybody wants to try to look like me and copy my style. Like that's kind of what it is. Sorry.
People see plastic surgery not as a way to just look better.
That was a joke.
But as a crucial investment for their careers and social lives. Hey, maybe if I got plastic surgery, I get more views. Talking about media and pop culture,
you good, bro.
K-pop and J-pop have become cultural powerhouses, further cementing beauty standards there. Groups
like BTS,
I knew it. Blackpink, and
I knew I wasn't far off.
So, Just Jeans with a Z. If you know, you know. They aren't just musical acts. They're trendsetters whose impact extends far beyond the stage. The idol look is a carefully crafted aesthetic that includes the double eyelids, high nasal bridge, and small V-shaped face.
So surgery, it includes blades, needles, knives, and operations on your face to look unnatural and like an alien and somebody who's not a part of that race. Which is exactly why the average person should not be trying to go for that look.
This look has become so pervasive that fans often go to extreme lengths just to look like the Temu version of their favorite idol. Actually, even white people are getting in on this action.
Let me see
Just look at Ollie London, the influencer trying to look like Jimin. But because of the...
This is a grown man? I don't even know. June, Pride Month, shout out. Like, I ain't... My fault. Was
rise in popularity, it's essentially created a new normal for beauty. One that's practically unattainable without intervention. And
like, you don't look natural, man.
A research paper, Beauty Capital of the World, a synthetic analysis of the historical evolution of cosmetic surgery in South Korea, where it concludes that the increase in media portrayals and the idolization of flawless celebrities further reinforce these beauty ideals, making cosmetic enhancements seem not only desirable, but almost essential in life. The reason for all this, however, ultimately stems from something called social comparison theory.
What's that?
First proposed by psychologist Leon Festinger in 1954.
Why he look like me though?
Funny enough, same year as when Millard introduced plastic surgery to South Korea. Anyhow, this theory suggests
don't look at me like that again,
we
man.
naturally compare ourselves to others, checking out their abilities and looks, especially if we think they are more successful or better looking than us. So when we see someone really attractive online, on TV or social media, it's common for us to either consciously or subconsciously compare ourselves to them. And of course, this sort of comparison isn't just in East Asia.
Comparison is the thief of joy, though. It's a fact, bro. I know it's a cliche saying, yeah, you know, I know I'm not a philosopher who's really pulling anything out of my ass, you know, giving y'all really top tier information by saying that. But dude, stop comparing the way you look to another person, especially in a case like this where these people aren't even real. Like, it'd be one thing if these are, you know, getting these... If these people are achieving these looks based on putting in work in like the gym or being, you know, fit or healthy or I don't know. But the fact that they're going under the blade, I feel like that should tell you enough.
In the West, we see attractive influencers like Leah Holton, Brooke Monk, Charli D'Amelio, and it'd only be natural for girls to compare themselves to how they look physically. I mean, I certainly do with their male counterparts, like Brent Rivera. But the thing is, they fit the Western beauty standards, all whilst looking physically vastly different from one another. Of course, some Westerners still get plastic surgery. However, if you look at what the most popular surgeries are in the US, it's liposuction, breast augmentation, tummy tuck, and breast lift. Half of it is just trying to look skinnier, and the other half is trying to make your boobs look better. Not homogenizing your face to look the same as every influencer online like it is in East Asia. Where the top 3 cosmetic surgeries for China, Japan, and South Korea
nose job,
are all
eyes,
double eyelids, rhinoplasty, and jawline contouring.
Yeah,
and so
that's
in comparison, what you see on the screen right now is 6 random Douyin influencers.
You could have told me they did a Naruto Shadow Clone Jutsu, and you would have fooled me, okay? These look like all the same exact person, except for maybe the one in the bottom right a little bit.
Using women for consistency's sake, but this also applies to men. And what you'll quickly come to notice is that unlike those TikTokers I mentioned, these Chinese influencers objectively have the same features as one another. Double eyelids, high thin nasal bridge, V-line jaw.
It's all the same. It's copy and paste, man. Where's your swag at, man? Why don't you want to look different? Why don't y'all get like a double chin? Why doesn't somebody get like an extremely large nose or somebody get like a triple eyelid? I don't know. Like, why would you want to blend in with just everybody looking all exactly the same? And another thing I was going to mention that he didn't talk about is like, okay, people in the West, they get a certain type of surgery. People in the East, you know, Asia, they get a certain type of surgery. If you're from East Asia, right, why are you doing surgery to try to look like people from the West? It's not like Western people are out here getting Chinese surgeries. No, they're not trying to look like East Asians. They're trying to look more Western because they're from the West.
Z would say,
you have big eyes, small face. I like it. What's your WeChat?
But once again, what this reinforces is that in China and East Asia...
You're going to have to take me out to dinner first, pal.
As a whole, there's only a single form of beauty,
which is
almost like a goal for one to attain, which can only be achieved through plastic surgery. And so at this point, like Clash Royale, it's just a pay-to-win system, where those who can afford it are rewarded with beauty, happiness, and self-confidence. The winners, and those who can't, either sadness or acceptance. The losers. And finally, the widespread...
My guy just made a Clash Royale comp mid-game, mid-level, mid-video. What am I talking about?
Filters adds to this. Many studies have shown that excessive beauty filters such as Meitu, the most popular app in East Asia for this, acts as a gateway into plastic surgery. This is because instead of comparing ourselves to someone else, we're now up against a hyper-idealized version of ourselves.
That's a good point, because let's be honest, bro, filters and those AI edited stuff is not actually what we look like. Filters is bad for your brain in general. I never put filters on any of my stuff because I just know, like, I feel like it's going to give you insecurities, bro.
Editing apps push this narrative that we aren't enough.
Heck happened to you, man.
Because we don't match
like punch in the face, man.
Versions of ourselves that do meet the beauty standards. And instead of knowing that this look is a digital hypothetical, all I would need to do is pay a couple $1,000 to make it into reality. So knowing that there's a correlation between using photo filters and wanting plastic surgery, how popular exactly are these apps? Well, as someone who actually bought stocks in Meitu, mid last year they released
an investor report. You have stocks in Meitu? That means you're supporting, buddy.
Within that, they boasted that the app now has over 258 million active users.
Goddamn.
As well as that, back in 2022, it was revealed that Meitu's average monthly...
Ain't that like more people than the freaking all of America? Actually, that might not be true.
...generated images exceeds 7 billion.
Goddamn. Effects of plastic surgery, popularity in East Asia, okay.
So what are the effects?
Nothing good.
Aside from the fact that extremely attractive couples are going to be having average at best looking children, at least according to East Asian beauty standards. Well,
to be fair though, I feel like that doesn't necessarily, sometimes be two attractive people in a couple and they have a chopped child. It's not really, you know, and sometimes it's two chopped parents have a good looking child. It kind of just depends. I don't know. I feel like that's also one of the least of my concerns. Personally, I don't really care.
Start off with, whilst figures on how much the cosmetic surgery industry is worth in East Asia fluctuates a bit, one which I found interesting is experts estimate that the plastic surgery industry in just China alone, not counting Japan or South Korea, will be worth over 200 billion, 5 times the 40.6 billion it's currently valued at in 2024.
That's crazy
which,
work.
Funny enough, will be almost double China's plastic industry, which is estimated to be at only 112 billion. But
everything is made of plastic.
The destigmatization of plastic surgery, along with, frankly, the implementation of it being required to achieve the East Asian beauty look also means that because it's something that anyone can theoretically achieve, as it's no longer a genetic lottery, in its own messed up way, it has evened out the playing field. No longer is it only based on luck, rather based on who can afford it. After all, pay to win isn't completely a negative thing. But whilst there may be some positives with this boom, holistically speaking, the detriments heavily outweigh the positives.
True. Well, what are the positives?
We're about
that
to
looks
meet
freaky,
a 9-year-old girl who was advised by her mom to get eyelid surgery. It's a procedure that
she was advised by her mom to do this eyelid surgery. No, yo, mom, yo, CPS. Okay, we're throwing you away. You are a terrible person for influencing your daughter to have an insecurity that deep to the point where you're making her do a surgery on her damn eyelids, knowing damn well she doesn't care about that, bro. She probably wants to play with the newest Barbie dolls.
Adds an extra fold in your eyelid to make your eyes look bigger.
You hear the way she's crying, bro?
At the start of the video, I mentioned that kids as young as 9 are getting plastic surgery.
Yeah.
And whilst obviously the blame is on the parents for allowing them to undergo such procedures, the fact that kids who aren't even old enough to get their pen license are pleading for their parents to get double eyelid surgery stems from the immense insecurities
is that the Zelda theme?
Created from such beauty standards, which are gatekept by surgical procedures. Studies from 3 separate studies, one for each country, China, Japan, and South Korea, all found that the East Asian beauty standard had a direct correlation with issues to mental health.
True, that makes sense.
Specifically, body dysmorphia. All 3 also shared a distinct message, which was...
I mean, not just body dysmorphia, nigga, facial dysmorphia, okay? Everything dysmorphia. You're feeling all types of insecure based on things that you were born with that you can't even change.
And I'm paraphrasing here. The beauty requirements indirectly convey to women and girls, and men to a lesser degree, who do not possess these features to be unworthy and unattractive.
Yeah,
this societal pressure of having to look exactly perfect causes East Asians to reconsider their self-esteem, later causing mental health issues. And whilst that's not the main cause as to why there's a mental health crisis among East Asians, though I did make a video specifically about that, which you can check out later, there's definitely a general consensus among psychologists that those who feel the need to conform to these standards are impacted negatively. But who are the ones who feel the need to conform? And why is it practically everyone? I want to shine light on this article here from the Nanyang Technological University in Singapore. Impact of culture on the pursuit of beauty, evidence from 5 countries. The article talks about the concept of self-construal and how it refers to how connected or separate we feel from others.
Pretty connected.
If you have an independent self, you see yourself as an individual who is different from others.
Keep going.
If you have an interdependent self, you feel more connected with others and view yourself as part of a collective. Typically, Westerners often view themselves as independent.
I would say so.
Embracing individualism, while Easterners who lean towards collectivism tend to see themselves as interdependent. Research shows that motivation to adhere to beauty standards is stronger among those who value collectivism and are interdependent.
So because everybody's interdependent, they all want to, you know, fall under a uniform type of thing. So that's why we start to see so many of like the same looks, because it's like, oh, what are we doing? It's not like everybody trying to be individual and trying to be their own person. Everybody's just trying to kind of, you know, blend in a bit.
This entire topic revolves around what source people derive their self-worth from.
Right.
With those from collectivist cultures finding satisfaction in being part of a group, unlike those who are independent. And so to examine the impact of collectivism on conforming to beauty standards, researchers from this study recruited women from both China and Canada to evaluate their views on a hypothetical beauty product presented as an instant skin perfector that promised instant, radiant, even-toned skin right when you need it. They assessed the women's feelings about the product, their willingness to pay for it, as well as their level of interdependent self-control. They were given 4 statements and were tasked with rating how much they agreed or disagreed with it. Those being, my happiness depends on the happiness of those around me. I'll sacrifice my self-interest for the benefit of the group.
All right, lady, calm down, okay?
I often have a feeling that my relationships with others are more important than my own accomplishments.
Grow some balls, you know, I don't know. But you gotta value your own self more than you value others, bro. And it's not even selfish, bro. You can't take care of others if you can't take care of yourself in the fullest extent, bro. Love yourself, man.
It's important to me to respect decisions made by the group. The findings revealed that participants from China who also had a stronger interdependent self-construal had more positive attitudes towards the beauty-enhancing product than those from Canada, who had a weaker interdependent self-construal. The results also revealed that the Chinese participants were willing to pay more for the product than the
800,000 yuan.
Following this initial study, researchers conducted 2 more studies.
What?
One on China and India compared to the US, and one solely on Singapore.
Singapore,
a country also with a strong
Senator, I'm Singaporean.
collectivist culture, and got similar results, further confirming the link between collectivism, self-construal levels, and conformity to beauty ideals. Furthermore, as human desires are often seen as endless, 1 or 2 cosmetic surgeries can often quickly spiral into a full-blown addiction where you just want more and more done. An example of this would be the story of Zhou Chuna, a Chinese girl where by the age of 16 had over 100 surgeries.
What the hell, bro? Y'all ruined her. Y'all killed this woman, man. Look at this, bro. Why does she have bug eyes, bro? She's 16 years old. Y'all don't have to be influencing people to do this, man. Like, bro, this jawline is not natural. This face is not natural. She looks like a tiki mask, a totem pole, a kitsune mask from Naruto. She looked like she's part of an Anbu Black Ops. She looked like Kaguya from Naruto, man.
At the age of 16 had over
Annabelle, I don't know. This looks like a horror movie character, bro. This looks like a mask.
over 100 surgeries and had side effects such as muscle twitching, facial nerve failure, memory loss, and brain damage due to the overuse of anesthetic. But as more and more people want more and more procedures done, demand rises. This also leads to a cosmetic surgery black market. It's estimated that 60,000 unlicensed clinics operate across China, performing risky procedures that can lead to devastating consequences. These are
preying on people's insecurities this much is actually wild to me, bro. Like, once you start talking about black market plastic surgeries and black market plastic surgeons, that's when I'm like, yo, bro, like there's an entire economy for this. There's a whole market. I mean, he mentioned it, bro. There's millions of dollars in this whole, you know, regime.
Often staffed by untrained practitioners, offer cut rate procedures that can result in disfigurement and severe health complications. One high-profile case is from singer and actress Goliul, who suffered severe complications after being deceived into getting a nose job from a plastic surgery hospital that was not qualified, resulting in tissue necrosis. But China isn't the only country facing this issue. South Korea also shares a similar problem, as ghost doctors haunt the plastic surgery industry.
Ghost doctors.
Ghost doctors are those who perform an operation on behalf of the surgeon when they are not the doctor who was hired for the operation. Though obviously unethical and illegal for ghost doctors to operate in the first place, in most cases, it's even more dangerous because these individuals lack the necessary qualifications or medical licenses to practice the operation.
Doctor, what's wrong?
So you mean to tell me I can go into the room, you know, ask to get my nose, I don't know, shrunk or enlarged and whatever the heck, and then my doctor will come in, you know, do what he do, and then he'll step out for a minute, and there'll be some random dude with a syringe plugged inside my nostrils operating on my face.
Where to make the incision?
All right, Nick. Don't panic. Think back to med school.
The reason for this, you might ask? Well, it's so the advertised surgeon can essentially operate on multiple patients at once without actually having to operate at all, and thus, of course, maximizing his profits. This all came to a halt after the infamous Kwang Da-hee case, however. Kwang Da-hee was a university student who passed away after excessive bleeding after undergoing jawline surgery from a ghost doctor. Kwang's mother found out after reviewing CCTV footage that her son's surgery was not under the hired surgeon, but a random doctor, and most of the surgery was actually performed by a nursing assistant. Due to this,
you're not a doctor, lady, you're a nursing assistant.
The installation of CCTV in operating rooms of medical institutions while the patient is unconscious was fully implemented. Thank you so much for watching till the end.
System,
if there's any topics you'd like me to talk about?
Well, that was Asia's harmful, forceful, disgusting, disturbing plastic surgery obsession. That was scary. I don't even know. Like, the fact that they're all getting the same surgeries, the fact that they're getting surgeries trying to look Western when they're not Western people, when you can see the influence of Western people on them, and then the fact that there's like an underground market, there are ghost doctors, there are people who are getting surgery at 9 years old being made by their parents to get double eyelid surgeries because everybody says this is ugly. With that being said, if you enjoyed the video, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, join the Discord link in the description, and link me videos you want me to check out. As always, enjoy the rest of your day. It's Love Hilal. I love you, and I'm out.